Okay, let's get started. So, by now, hey Amy, I'm recording this by the way, because I'm going to post this one in the team page since I just wish my background looked as fancy as yours. Are you on a Mac?
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in his living room.
I know. I need to figure out how to change my background too. I feel like
I'll teach you real quick. You're in Mac?
Yeah, I am.
It's super simple. Okay, are you on the computer or?
Yeah, I'm on the computer.
Okay. You know when you wiggle your mouse, go down to the bottom. It says mute or stop video. Right next to stop video, there's an arrow up.
Wait.
You know, did you wiggle your mouse and that the bar comes up at the bottom where it says it has your little microphone thing. Then it has an arrow. Then it has.
I'm on like a MacBook Air.
Yeah, it should be the same.
Okay, I just on iBooks. Hold on, that's not right.
Oh. Just go in your Zoom.
Here. I'll do it. Let's go ahead. I'll get through this part, and then when I stop recording, I'll do it. So, because I want to figure out how to do it. It's so cool. I always love it. I just want to feel like I'm on the beach.
Okay, well, hang on one second. You want to do the beach?
I want to feel like I'm on the beach for sure.
All right. Here we go.
Puts me instantly in a better mood. I love it. Yeah, beach waves. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. I'm going to figure out how to do it after this. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and knock this first part out so I can put this up in the team page. So this is strictly Instagram. I'll be honest, I do not know how to use hashtags on Facebook and if they're effective whatsoever. I'm assuming they are because I'm assuming like if I go to my page, I don't really use hashtags on Facebook, but if I go to my page and I click on a hashtag, usually I kind of just use them because they're cute, not actually for a purpose. But for instance, if I click like, I did one that was National Pet Day the other day with my dog, and this is on Facebook. So I'm assuming if you click the actual hashtag itself, yeah, it does. It works on Facebook too. So I'm just waiting for it to load. But anybody who used the hashtag National Pet Day, it takes you well, it just takes you to that post, and their page may not be on public or anything. Most of my stuff that I post on Facebook is not public, but at least that shows you another way on Facebook that you can connect with people also if you wanted to use those hashtags. Step one would be basically like identifying like your brand's hashtags, because it doesn't do you any good. Like it would not do me any good to go follow a hashtag of like a random sorority from Arkansas. I have nothing in common with them other than being in a sorority. I know nothing about their chapter. I know nothing about the state of Arkansas other than that's where my mom's side is from, and I'm not a fan of going up there. Like I'm very limited on stuff like that. And so like you have to narrow down the hashtags that you want to use. And so most frequently the hashtags that I personally use are Houston Mom, Houston Moms, Houston Insta, Houston Blogger, Texas Mom, Texas Girl, Girl Mama. And so you have to figure out, you have to narrow down the things that like are in your brand. So for instance, like I incorporate Houston because like I am so prideful of living in Texas. Like I love being down by the beach and the coast. It makes so much of my personality and who I am. Like I adore it down here. And so like that's one of the things I talk about all the time during the summer, because we literally live at the beach 24/7 like when we're not in quarantine. So make sure before you really start using hashtags, identify those things that make you who you are. Like if you were putting a puzzle together, you have to fit the puzzle pieces together. And so like if you were to like simultaneously just split apart into a million different pieces, what is it that's going to put you piece by piece back together and make you who you are, and that makes you stand out? And that's where your hashtags are going to come from, is that sort of thing. And so when you're choosing your hashtag, so let's say for instance, and I guess you could do this on once you identify what your hashtags are going to be, you could use them on Facebook, obviously, and maybe put them in the comment section, or I'll show y'all probably how you could do them on Facebook without being super spammy. So, okay, so let me show y'all. When you are choosing, like your hashtags on Instagram, because you'll want to do your searching. You can't just choose hashtags. Like, you have to get an idea of what your hashtag is, like what your niche is for that specific category. And then you have to do the research. And here's why. So when you post to a hashtag, like use a hashtag, you go to something called a landing page for that hashtag in particular. So for instance, to give you an idea, I'll click on Houston Moms. When I use the Houston Moms hashtag, look, there I am right at the top. Do y'all see that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And that's the landing page. No, this doesn't involve you. Please go. Sorry.
Did you go to search though first? Search nope. And then hashtag?
Well, I'll show y'all how to do it. But this is my page. I clicked on my page, and then I clicked on my hashtag that I use. And so this is the important thing. Do y'all see at the top how that's kind of not a very high number? Like the people, the posts, you don't want to use a hashtag that has millions of people using it, because you're not going to stand out. If I Google, or if I use if you go to the search bar and I type in hashtag Houston, there are 22.5 million posts. And so what's going to happen is people are using that hashtag so frequently that you're never going to get on the landing page, because it's constantly like 22.5 million. That's a ton. And so it's constantly just uploading. And so the minute that you post, you're already pushed down to the bottom. And so when you want to come up with a hashtag, so you want to basically, okay, so you want to think of what you're trying to say. So for instance, let's say hashtag, I could do hashtag, let's do hashtag girl mom. Okay. So when I do hashtag girl mom, whoops, hashtag girl mom, it has, well, is it going to load? It has, I just don't understand. Hold on, let me get off Wi-Fi. Okay, there we go. It has 3.5 million posts. So I'm going to click on that. And if you go there, what it's going to show you, well, why is it not showing me it right now? What it should show you across the top are other hashtags that relate to that. So let me go. I'm trying to find an example of it. Of course, it's not showing up right now when I'm trying to use it. Oh, that one just did. Okay, hold on. Where did it go? Okay, so typically, like when you're searching different hashtags, like I said, you want to use them where the numbers aren't too high, but at the top, some of the times when you're using hashtags, it'll give you related hashtags, like right here, and you can start clicking on those hashtags to kind of get even more narrowed down. I typically do not like to go over this, oh, oops.
Over 100,000?
I don't like to use high. I will go like this high, but then again, like you're already getting pushed down so quick by using like that many. And so even if you just type in like girl mom, you can kind of start scrolling through and you can narrow down in one that's not, oh dang it, one you can narrow down and one that doesn't have as many posts. And so here's the thing, once you narrow down your hashtags, you can use up to 25 hashtags per post on Instagram. It will not let you use a single more post after that, and that's included into what's in your caption. And so I typically use about 20, and like I use for the most part the same 20 every single time, so I can constantly just stay on those landing pages. So those are the things you have to do, your hashtag research, and then once you identify what hashtags that you want to use, then what you can do, so let's say hashtag girl mom problems, that has 12.4. That's pretty good. So I'm going to click on recent, the people who have, okay, do y'all see them at the top related? So I can click on any of those hashtags right there too, and they're going to be narrow. Like they're going to have a smaller amount of like, I guess it's not going to be like 22.5 million. Like it's going to have a smaller amount like this 12 or whatever. But I click on recent. This is how I add people on Instagram. And I guess this is how you could do it on Facebook too if you wanted to. So I click on recent, and these are all the people who have recently used hashtag girl, does that say girl mom? Yeah, girl mom problems. And what I do is I find somebody, I could click on, for instance, this girl. I go to her page, and she's got like a good bio. I kind of looks like she's in another business. Yeah, she totally is. This is like Beachbody or something. But if they're not in, like, it's apparent this girl is in another business. So I'm not going to follow her. But like, if she wasn't, I would go through and I would scroll down. Like I'm saying, I scrolled down, and I would like posts back from, this girl posts a lot. That's only March 4th. So I would scroll all the way down like 2 years back.
Okay.
And I would like a couple pictures, and I would comment on one. Like I would like a recent one, I would like one from forever ago, and I would comment on a picture in between. And that is exactly how I add people on Instagram using hashtags. But you just have to get really narrow on your hashtags, because people out there are looking for you. They're looking for people within their niche. People follow hashtags specifically. Like I used to follow it was like hashtag motherhood uncensored. And so anybody who was using hashtag motherhood uncensored, like their post would pop, even though I was not following that person, their post would still pop up on my feed. And so that would give me another way of like, just adding people. And so people are literally like looking for you. They're looking to connect with people that they're similar with, but you just have to narrow down and get in that niche and identify your brand and the things that make you who you are, that makes you stand out, that's important, that puts together like the little puzzle pieces of your personality, and create your hashtags off of that. And granted, like if you post something inspirational, you can change up your hashtags, like match that. But I always, no matter what, even if I post an inspirational post or whatever, like if I click on that, I still use, and I write it in the comments. I never make it part of like I never use hashtags like in my actual like caption. I click the comment thing and I put it in the comments, because you can't see any hashtags right now. But if I click the 3 comments, there are all my hashtags.
Oh, cool.
And so for the most part, like I use the same hashtags, but sometimes I will use, since this was like an inspirational quote, I put in some like hashtags that say like, inspirational quotes, inspirational. And so sometimes like when it's things like that, like I will change it up. But that's a good way to keep it clean, is you just, like I said, you don't put the hashtags in your actual actual caption. You do it as a comment. So post, and then go as if you were commenting on your own post, and then put the hashtags in. A good hashtag generator that will help you kind of get started. I would not copy and paste the hashtags and use them, but it can kind of help you narrow it down. It's called tags. Is Tagsagram, I think is what it's called. TAGSTAGRAM, Tagsgram. And you can kind of just if I open it up, it kind of lets you, like I could say festivals, and then it gives you a ton of hashtags for different festivals, like Coachella. If I was going to Coachella out in like California, I would have a group of hashtags for that. And so you can connect with people. So on top of hashtags, so even on Facebook, if you wanted to use hashtags on Facebook, it'll work the same way, but hashtags only work if you're on public. Hashtags do not work if you're on private. So same thing with Facebook. If you wanted to use those, you could. I don't know if it works as well if you put them in the comments. I'm sure it does on Facebook. But something I think I would do is when you're making a post, you can hit the space bar. multiple times. And you can go down so far that when people are scrolling, you know how it says see more, like right there? All your hashtags would be underneath that see more. And so as people are scrolling, people aren't going to see your hashtags like in the very first thing. But it would still, if your profile's on public, it would still allow you to connect with those people. So like I said, I don't really use hashtags on Facebook, but obviously that's an option. Another way that you can add people on Instagram, I'm guessing you could probably do this on Facebook too, is you click on your search bar. So like your little magnifying glass, and at the top, you can click, do you see where it says places right there? You can click places, and then you can add people from your, like near my current location. And so all the places that I'm close to right now, any of those people that have checked into those locations, I can click on them. So a big amount of people that I was following for a while, there's a junior college right around the corner from me. And so I would click on Wharton County Junior College, or like there's a 24-hour fitness, and I would click on recent, which there's probably not a lot recently anymore, but I could add all these people from this junior college. And I mean, again, it's a junior college. These are like people in their early 20s. Well, actually, junior college, they have courses for everything. So it could be anybody. But, you know, everyone who checks in there, they're active probably on Instagram because they're checking into that place. You could check it. You could find a 24-hour fitness, which obviously that doesn't work very well right now, searching locations, because people shouldn't be anywhere but their house.
Right.
But like during the summer when things, pray to God, like things go back to normal, people will be using, you know, those geotags are called geotags. Like when you kind of like check into a place on Instagram, people will be using those all the time. And so like, since I love the beach so much, that's like a big part of my brand and who I am. I like will search the geotags for all the beaches down on the Texas coast. And I add people who have checked into the coast and stuff, because guess what? They like the beach also. And so I have something in common with them. And you never know, that may have been their first beach trip in like 10 years, and they don't get to take vacations. And if I'm posting about how my life, I literally created my life as a vacation, like, and I can go to the beach whenever I want to. Guess what? I just provided them a solution without directly saying like, oh, join my team. Like they're going to start following me back. And so that's a really good thing when you start connecting with people in locations that are relevant to your niche, hashtags that are relevant to your niche. People are automatically going to gravitate to you because you're already offering them a solution. You're already harvesting that like connection for that relationship. To like really help it take off. So that's the really good thing about that. Really just doing your hashtag research. It's going to take time, and you'll need to make sure you're interacting on the same hashtags that you're using. So once you start using the same hashtags, just make sure you go and interact on other people's stuff, and you'll see your followers, the amount of people that are following you, it'll start steadily jumping too, because as you go and interact on people's stuff, they're going to come back and they're going to follow you. Okay, so with the remaining time that we have left, let's go ahead and knock out some of our IPAs. Obviously, you should have already done your happy birthdays, should have been adding to your story throughout the day, gratitude, self-development, all that should be knocked out. We can interact directly with our stories, our news feed, directly with likes. And so let's start, when I say likes, like if you were to go to your Facebook right now, and click on like your photo, like the most recent, you can do it through the most recent several photos. So for instance, like the photo I posted a little bit ago has 81 likes. And so instead of just scrolling through my news feed, I'm going to click all the people that liked my photo, and I'm just going to go through every single one of them, and I'm going to go to their page directly, and I'm going to go interact on their content right back. And so obviously that can't be like a timed thing, because some of them, if you have like 10 likes on one picture, that's obviously not going to take you 5 minutes to do that. But if you have something like 200 likes on a photo, that's going to take you probably well over, or that could take you a total of 10 minutes to do that. So interacting directly with likes, interact on your story. So make sure you're going in, you're commenting on those people's stories, and not just like, oh my gosh, love this girl, but like really, really engaging. Like I'm having a conversation over like right now actively with like a really cute girl from Instagram, just like talking about like wallpaper. And it literally, like, it's just the smallest conversation. It has nothing to do with the business, but you're in the business of building relationships. And so that's where that comes in. Another one too that we haven't been doing lately is interacting with your groups. And so groups is another really good way on Facebook to connect with people instead of just adding from random places. I mean, obviously you can't just go into a group and add all the people from that group. That would be like not okay. Like you'll get kicked out of that group. But if you want something that you could add to your IPAs, your income producing activities every single day, you could pick out a group on Facebook and you could start interacting in that group. You could make a post every now and then. You could start interacting with the same people who are super active. So for instance, like I'm in a mom group and the people are super savage in that group, but I could go in. I try not to be in that group too much, but I could literally go in and I could start just talking to people, and I would talk to the same people, or I could connect with the same people. I can make really genuine comments. And again, those are just extra relationships. So you could add like a 5-minute stretch of interacting within groups too, if you're in your IPAs too, if you really wanted to focus on your Facebook more so than your Instagram for the time being. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the recording, and then we can use whatever allotted time we have left in the Zoom to just work. So let me stop the